What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Book entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father. Amazon Kindle Create Space. Anger can be your friend or foe. Um, when I was younger, my dad used to tell me, "You say, son, anger is the enemy." And I had a temper problem, so I knew what he was saying. Anger can, if not harnessed correctly, can, excuse me, destroy things that you're trying to build or are building. So part of me understood him, and then the angry part of me was like, "Man, you better shut up before I slap the shit out you." So over time, you learn that anger is a great emotion for people who know how to use it properly. For other people, it's just a waste of energy because this is how anger can be your friend. Anger can make, if you're mad enough to do something about it, anger's your friend. And I don't mean do something as in throw a fit, throw a tantrum, tear some stuff up that you're gonna have to pay for a fix. I mean, if anger makes you come up with a plan, put your energy towards that plan, and execute that plan, then anger is your friend. If you don't like your situation, it makes you angry. Angry enough to do something to change that situation and make it what you want it to be. You can turn a negative into a positive. That's usually anger. You know, I don't see too many people who are just happy, and because of their happiness, they just want to do things that make them happier. Usually, um, there's a yin and yang to everything. To know the joy of victory, you have to know the agony of defeat. And that doesn't have to, and that agony could be in something that is not pertaining to what you are competing or winning at. It could be something completely different. Anger is your enemy when you find yourself making reckless mistakes because you can't exhibit self-control because you've gotten so frustrated that you're just completely reactionary without taking into consideration the consequences. You know, I've seen, you've been angry enough to throw something at the TV. Then if you throw the remote and crack the TV screen, that's not your friend. Now you got to get a new TV. Just saying. Some of the most accomplished people in life are probably angry people. Because when you tell somebody you can't do something, you'll never be that, you'll never accomplish this, you're nobody. Who are you? Nobody from this situation has ever made it to the heights you're dreaming of going to. So it's not possible. Impossible is just a word for people who are about to do some shit that hasn't been done yet. That's all it is. Um, but usually those people get angry enough to prove themselves right and to prove their disbelievers wrong. You know, Angry enough to make you burn the midnight oil. Angry enough to make you practice when everybody else is sleeping. Angry enough to make you stay up all night to will yourself into the situation that you dreamed about. You know, um, Other people just get angry and go to sleep angry and wake up and just let it go. Sometimes that's a cowardly thing. Sometimes it's not a good idea to let your anger go. Some people can't handle being angry. This is part of the reason why I think stress kills a lot of people, because they're angry but they have no release. This is why some people have vices. Some people have a sex addiction because the sex is a stress reliever. Some people um, drink, smoke as a way to deal with the weight of not being able to release their anger. That's part of people's demons is anger. And if you can't channel that energy in the right way, your anger becomes your foe. Doesn't help you at all. You know, Anger can make your relationships better. I know that sounds weird, but if if you remember the ways you were treated that upset you, and use that to make you a better person, or to treat other people better because you don't want them to feel what you felt, then anger can strengthen you. And some people, anger is the enemy because hurt people hurt people. You know, they just want to spread the hate. But like I should have said it first. Sometimes hurt people help people because they've been hurt. You know, um, Sometimes when I go in on religious folks, you know, that's even a religious thing. Moses was angry enough to get his people out of that situation. Um, Jesus was angry enough to flip over tables when they were disrespecting the temple. You know, you have to be angry if you can use your anger. Your anger can be used to fight evil, fight for something that's right. Because when you stand up for people who are the least of us, that usually comes from being angry that you don't want to see somebody bullied. And that's partially that's how you use anger as a positive, and that's partially why the reason why I say it's a good emotion. Because even the bullies are angry. Sometimes it becomes a foe, because people go around bullying people because they're angry about things that they just didn't, whatever. Maybe home, maybe mental, maybe anything. Just put it in practical application. There are people out here who are overweight, and they're not angry enough, and they're depressed, but depression doesn't help them. But when they get angry, because they get sick and tired of being sick and tired, they change their circumstances and they lose the weight. You know, People in bad relationships because their anger is like, look, no, enough is enough. You know, People go from poverty to um, wealth because they're fueled by knowing that they're great, but knowing that they have to overcome a bunch of unnecessary obstacles, and those are just obstacles that they're just gonna have to go through, and they push through. That's because anger's a friend, because their situation may be unfair. Also, Anger brought us a lot of innovation in the civil rights movement. A lot of the things we talk about on these YouTube videos. Sometimes when we connect and impact other people, in some ways, it was a experience that rubbed us the wrong way that we speak about in a different way that lets people connect. Like you're not the only one going through things, and this is how you navigate through those situations. So to me, anger can be your friend. You know, you can create with that emotion. You just have to learn how to channel it. And also, anger can be your foe because I've destroyed some things. And I realize, and I'm not that way anymore. I'm more at peace because I I know I get angry enough to do stuff now, and that means putting that feeling in some type of constructive direction. You have to guide your anger. You have to guide your emotions and use them for the purpose of becoming a better person or in accomplishing a task. It's a waste of energy to have all of these emotions, but to be a slave to your emotions and not be the master of them. So I'm out. Peace.